It was only a few weeks ago when we got our first look at this big, and I mean big, turtle boy, Imugi. At first we only saw he had a greatsword, but hours later we would learn what his second weapon is. Okay, we all expected this. The Axe mains finally won. Axe hadn't received a legend since Volkov anyways, which was about 5 years ago. Jesus, I'm getting old. Either way, Imugi is the newest legend following Vivi, which everyone already forgot about unfortunately. Vivi didn't have much going for her. The most interesting thing about her was Boots down sig, but Imugi's got a whole package of stuff to dig through. If you played against him, or played him in general, you know what I'm talking about. So far I've only gotten him to about level 19, at least at the time of recording this audio, and I've gotta say, he's pretty fun. I mostly play his greatsword, but you'll catch me murdering on his axe game from time to time. As we dive into the signatures, I ask you to join our Discord server. We're having a blast there, and I want you to have a blast too. Now, let's start off with greatsword. Greatsword and sig is the one I suspect people like the least in his greatsword kit, since side sig and down sig just do so much. But in sig is not to be underestimated. It's actually one of my favorites to use in terms of doing team combos and also dunking enemies. While it's the weakest out of his greatsword kit, it's still super strong, but not as strong as greatsword side sig. This signature is just nuts. It's so nuts. Yes, some legends have pretty fast sigs or a lot of force on some of them on release, but Imugi's greatsword side sig just knocks it out of the park in terms of power. It has amazing force, amazing range, and to top it off, it leaves you airborne, so it's a bit more difficult to punish. At least until you fight a spear player. I always say this every time a new legend comes out for one of their strong sigs, and then that sig never gets nerfed, but if there's any sig of Imugi's that gets nerfed, it's this one. Just waiting to jinx it at this point, to be honest. Greatsword down sig is arguably the most memorable on Imugi's greatsword game, covering a pretty wide area and even being steerable slightly. The reason I say this one is more memorable is because when you slide charge it off stage and use it, you continue to fall rather than locking in place horizontally. This makes it very good and very unsuspecting. This one will probably take people a while to figure out, but along with side sig, it'll hopefully receive nerfs. Onto Imugi's axe game, we've got even more powerhouse signatures to go through, so let's not stall. Axe and sig is the most simple that Imugi's signature kit becomes actually, with just a simple hit upwards. There's only a handful of axe legends that have signatures that send up like this, but while most of them send upward at an angle, this one is straight up, something actually a bit new for an axe legend like this. It can be a little confusing at first, and it can combo quite well with Axe's kit. Be wary of this one. Axe side sig is the one sig that I couldn't quite figure out too well, but it still packs a punch. It's a two-part sig that has a lot of force, and you have to angle yourself a bit further back when you want to hit it. From my experience, I've overshot it where I plan to hit it and I get punished for it quite a lot, but aside from that little tidbit, it's a strong sig nonetheless. The range is a bit unsuspecting as well. This one has it all, it seems like. Lastly, we have Axe down sig. This was the one that looked the most interesting to me when I first saw Imugi's signatures, and I've got to say, it's a fun one. It can be a bit strong, of course, with its wide hitting area, but getting that initial first hit can be a bit tricky if your enemy just, you know, goes around it. But then again, it's still very fun to use. The weird thing about it is you want to aim yourself the opposite way of where you want to send the enemy, so it comes off a bit strangely. But again, it's still pretty dang strong. Overall, I'd flow with Imugi's greatsword game. The signatures overall are so much better, even though Axe as a weapon is absolutely menacing on Imugi as well. Both are very good, but I prefer greatsword. Onto his skins, Imugi has his 3 launch skins as normal, so let's go through them real quick. God tier has only his default skin, which I think BMG did an amazing job on. The default weapons are very nice. Pretty good tier has Exoshell and Ship Sinker Imugi. Both are decent, although the color swaps aren't my favorite. The Axe on Ship Sinker and Greatsword on Exoshell stick out a lot for me. Then mid tier we have Mecha Imugi. I absolutely hate mecha skins, but I must admit that this one's a bit better than the others. That big old green shell sticks out quite a lot. Overall some nice skins, but I can't wait to see what they do for skins in the future. Tier list wise, out of SA, B, C, and D, do I even have to say it? And an absolutely killer signature kit. Greatsword, while not being the best, gets paired with Axe, which is super strong. Imugi is absolutely an S tier legend. But come on, good sigs and weapons don't make a good legend on their own. The stats would help a tremendous amount with that. 8 attack, 3 dex, 8 defense, and 3 speed. What in the fuck? Okay, so against my original beliefs, I didn't ever think BMG would do another 3 speed legend. But here we are. Good job proving me wrong again, BMG. Although I don't believe a base 3 speed legend is actually that bad. Hell, I played 2 speed Nai for a while. This shit's nothing to me, man. Maybe I'm a bit too used to Queen Nai. But that's besides the point. You can run attack stance to take down on dex, the most optimal stance. Speed takes down on attack, which might float your boat much better. Defense takes down on speed if you want to be a true tank. And dex is just dex, you know, dex things. We don't have to talk about that part, really. So, yes, with all of this wacky stuff and Imugi being a new legend, his play rate's pretty high, sitting at 7.82% at the time of recording this. And while it is high right now, of course, I actually imagine his play rate won't stay that way. Sure, Imugi has an absolutely insane stat combo. His SIGs, Destruction Incarnate. Weapons, if they're your taste, then absolutely amazing. But hell, people don't even like Greysword on its own, and if you're a player who needs 6 base speed to play the game, Imugi might not be up your alley. If you're the one playing him, you're having an absolute blast playing him. I know I am. But if you're the one having to fight them all because he's new, then let's just hope you make it out in one piece. But what are your thoughts on the big turtle himself? Is he too strong? Too strong? Way too strong for your liking? Way too fucking strong? Leave your thoughts about him down in the comments. Even for how strong he is, I still love him, especially for his design. Of course, if you enjoyed the content, then feel free to subscribe. It's free and you can always unsubscribe at any time. And until next time, y'all remember to keep on brawling.